Hello, happy Tuesday. This is Darren Roberts, Master Trainer at Impact Training Corporation and the Abundance Accelerant. Welcome to the Tuesday Tickle and Tick show number 10. Today we are teaching manage process and lead people. In fact, I'm splitting this over two shows, and next week I'll teach you about leading people. Today I'm going to teach you about managing process. In fact, I'm going to give you two things to do which will guarantee you hitting your sales target, and one extra thing to do which will guarantee you hitting your income target. Now, the reason this is so important is that, as many of you know, I'm blessed to be able to work with businesses and owners and managers every day. And the end result for most of those that I work with is to increase profit while maintaining or increasing their lifestyle. However, when I'm initially talking to them before I start helping them, owners and managers often have an outcome, a target that they want to achieve, but they rarely have a plan of attack of how to get there. Now, I call this the fingers crossed approach. Well, I hope I get enough leads. I hope I make enough sales to achieve my income. It's called a retail philosophy. The retail philosophy is open the doors to your business, do a bit of marketing, and hope enough people walk into your business. But if that's where you sit in your business, or even as an employee within a business, then you're at the elements of everything around you. If it's 45 degrees for a week, if it's hailing for a week, if, depending on who the president of your country is it school holidays, all of these things around you will affect you and determine whether you achieve budget or not. Whereas if you have a proactive plan of how you're going to get to that target, and two or three things that you know will guarantee you achieving target, it gives you great control and confidence. I know for me in my sales career and my leadership career, it gave me great confidence to know it doesn't matter what's happening around me. It doesn't matter if the marketing works or not. If I'm proactive enough, I'm going to achieve target no matter what. You know, outside of business, if I was training for a marathon or a cycling event or a triathlon, and I wanted to do a personal best in that event, and you said, Darren, what are you up to for your training? And I said, I'll do the best I can every day and every session, as many as I can. Well, my chances of getting a PB are pretty limited. But if I say, listen, I've got to structure a plan, I know exactly when my endurance training needs to be. I know exactly where my strength and my speed, my recovery and my taper needs to be. I know what heart rate I need to stick at for the event. I know what nutrition I need to stick at for the event. Then my chances of getting a personal best are far higher. It's the same with the structure within our business. So let's go through a bit of a structure for you. Now, this usually takes 2 hours or more to train when I'm in groups with the teams that I train. So for you, it's going to be nice and quick, but you can go back and replay it and look at it again if it's moving a little bit too fast for you. So firstly, whether it's in business or personally, we need to set a target. In business, we need to set a profitability target. How much profit do we want to make? Now, sometimes in business, budgets and targets are interchangeable with those words. However, I believe we need to set a target that is 120% of budget. That gives us that little bit of a buffer, where if we have a bit of a rough month, we still are well and truly above budget. So set a target of how much profit you want to make. Now, once you know your expenses, that's going to set a target for how much income or turnover that you need to make. Once you know the average dollar per sale within your business, comparing that with the income you want to generate, then that's going to give you a figure which is your number of sales per month or year or whatever period you're referring to. Now, just as a by the way, be careful with growth and sales targets. Some businesses say, all right, I want 100 sales growth in a month as an example. But they forget to think about people that drop out of their business. If you're a member-based business, or let's say you have 30 people per month that cancel or drop out of your business. Well, if you want 100 growth, you want 130 new sales. In case those 30 drop out, you're still going to get your 100 growth. It's also the case in retail. You know, how many shoes that you sell are returned to the store, etc. So make sure you factor that in with your growth. Once you have a sales target that you want to achieve, Then we need to look at some simple key performance indicators, KPIs. Now the first one is a close percentage. How many presentations do you do about your product and service versus the sales that come from that? That's a close percentage. For appointment-based sales businesses like fitness industry, like accountants and financial planners and lawyers and real estate, well, we also need a show percentage. How many people are booked in to see us versus those that actually turn up on the day? That's a show percentage. And the last one is a contact or an appointment percentage. How many people do we speak to and invite in to come and see us, or we go and see them and book a time to go and see them, versus those that say yes and book a time? How many people do we ask to book a time versus those that actually do book a time? That's an appointment percentage. So to get those stats, all you need to record every day within your business is how many people you speak to, how many people are booked in to see you, how many people actually turn up, and how many sales that you get from that. Then we use those KPIs to work backwards from your sales target so you understand what sort of activity do you and your team need to do to achieve target. So let's say we needed 130 sales in a month to achieve our target. And if we had an 85% close percentage, then we just do the 130 new sales divided by 0.85, which is the 85% close rate. And of course, we always round that figure up. We can't do 0.2 or 0.3 of a presentation, so we always round up. So 130 sales divided by 0.85 and rounded up is 153. So we need 153 appointments done at an 85% close rate will give us 130 sales. So the next question is, if we need 153 appointments done, and let's say our show rate is 90%. So then it's 153 divided by 0.9, which gives us 170 appointments set that we need for the month. 90% of those will turn up, which gives us 153 appointments done. 85% of those will join on the day, which gives us 130 sales. One more step with the appointment percentage. If we have 170 appointments that we need set, and we have a 40% appointment percentage, then how many people do we need to speak to per month? So 170 divided by 0.4 and round it up gives us 425 people that we need to speak to. So that's over a month. If we divide it by the working days, let's say there's 23 working days within a month that you have salespeople active, then 425 divided by the 23 working days brings it down to 19 contacts or people to speak to per day. So if you do that plan, then there's two things that you need to do which will guarantee you hitting your sales target. One is to speak to 19 people per day and invite them in for an appointment, or you book a point where you go out to them depending on your business. The second thing to do is to at least maintain the percentages that you set as part of that plan. In this example, we had an 85% close rate, a 90% show rate, and a 40% appointment percentage. If you do those two things, it is mathematically impossible for you not to hit your sales target. Now, if you throw in one more thing, if you make sure the average dollar per sale is at least of what you planned, then that'll also guarantee you hit your income targets. 3 things to do to guarantee you hit your income targets. How easy is that? Now, then you've got a plan in place. The plan without the action means nothing. So now you go about making sure you achieve those number of contacts and those percentages. From a leadership perspective, whether it's self-leadership or leading others, then the conversation throughout the rest of the month is just a comparison of those things. What is the comparison of the plan we set on day 1 of the month versus what is actually happening? All right, we needed 19 contacts per day. How many are we actually achieving? We needed an 85% close rate, a 90% show, and a 40% appointment percentage. What are our actual percentages? Then we reward the things that are going really well, and we see if things are not where they should be compared to that plan. We take action, we do some training, we improve them. So I'd love for you in your business to determine a proactive plan to achieve that target. And then, as I said, next week, I'm going to teach you about leading people. We've done managing process today. Now it's about leading people to make sure we get the best effectiveness from our team and they can hit those numbers as often as possible to make sure that you're hitting your target, which is 120% of your budget. So if you have any questions, then let me know. Feel free to go back and rewind and look at it again to work out your own percentages. And I'll look forward to seeing you again next week for leading people on the Tuesday Tickle and Tick. Have a great night. Bye.